Campfires were already burning in the distance, and by the sound of it, officers had cracked open the ale rations, a reward for victory. And though he would join them in time, he felt the need to stay here for a little longer, to stand amidst what a decade of planning had brought forth. Callow's standing army had been all but annihilated today, over 2/3 slaughtered before they broke ranks. The Wizard of the West had fled, his powers shattered only for Warlock's curse to rot him from within. King Edward's skull had been caved in by a warhammer, and the prince was mobbed by a company of goblins until one drew a red smile across his throat. The Kingdom of Callow's strength had been crushed in the span of an afternoon, and the Black Knight would see to it that it never recovered. "It's getting dark out, Black," a voice called from behind. "You should return to camp." It never ceased to surprise him how a woman the size of Captain could be so eerily quiet. Even decked out in full plate, the olive-skinned woman had been near noiseless in her approach. If not for the other senses his name afforded him, he would never have felt her closing in. Turning to have a look at his friend, Black raised an eyebrow when he was presented with the sight of Scribe standing next to her. Her he had not felt. It was unusual for Scribe to wander onto a battlefield, even one where the fighting was over. "Soon," he agreed. "Scribe, you have a report?" The plain-faced woman took a scroll from the bandolier hanging across her shoulder and handed it to him without a word. Breaking the seal, Black unfurled the parchment and scanned the lines. A moment passed until the barest hint of a smile quirked his lips. Assassin had done it. "That should keep the Principate occupied for the time being," he murmured. "By the time the fighting dies down, we'll have the western border secure." Handing the scroll back to Scribe, he returned his attention to the battlefield. At this rate, the soldiers assigned to the thankless work of burning the bodies the greenskins, orcs and goblins, hadn't eaten would have to work through the night. Black would have to see about arranging a rotation when he returned to camp, if sufficiently sober soldiers could still be produced. A tall silhouette striding their way caught his attention. The dark-skinned mage it belonged to deftly sidestepped a pair of orcs while carrying a log taller than a grown man. "You could have told me we were having a get-together," Warlock teased as soon as he was close enough to be heard. "I'd have brought a few bottles, though, admittedly, the scenery's a tad morbid for my tastes."